Hey YouTube, this is TheKillerNacho again. I have a battle here with Lal Nyk. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. But this is a standard Gen 5 match, so let's go. Alright, so I lead with my Mew, which is a lead that I've been using a lot recently, just because, yeah, I like it because it's Mew. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna lead with a Will-O-Wisp because, like, I don't know what he'd, like, do. And I was kind of assuming this might be one of those, like, I don't know, Iron Head ones, because this is the most common. But he just goes for his own Stealth Rocks right off the bat, and I miss my Will-O-Wisp, which kind of sucks, and I know he has Chandelure in the team, so I don't feel safe going for Will-O-Wisp again, so I decided to set up my own rocks, and he does go into Chandelure, which is a pretty nice play for me. Unfortunately, though, he has the sub, and that really sucks, because I go out into my Heatran, predicting Shadow Ball to just take it, and unfortunately he does set up the sub, and that really sucks. So I'm just going to go for Earth Power. I know I outspeed since this is my Scarf Heatran, but he just goes for Hidden Power Fighting to get damage, and that's just not good because, yeah, Inferno doesn't really like damage on it. You know how things are when they get damaged. They're like, oh man, I'm damaged. That sucks. Okay, so here comes Rotom, and, yeah, that's obviously going to take my Earth Power because it has Levitate and whatnot, and, yeah, I can't do squat to Levitate. So I'm going to go out into Glen, because I don't really know what to expect. I kind of expected a Hydro Pump or just to attack me, maybe Thunderbolt, predicting a switch or something, but he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, so now I know this is one of those, like, bulky ones, and that really blows, because getting a Will-O-Wisp up on my, Gallade is not good. This Galad happens to be a, bulk up one with special defenses, so I know I could have taken special hits quite well, and but now I'm sad. So he just goes for Hydro Pump this turn. It does a little less than half. I set up a bulk up because, you know, without a bulk up I probably won't be able to do any damage whatsoever, and with the bulk up I might be able to hurt this Rotom a little bit. So yeah, he goes for another Hydro Pump, but he misses, so that's like the risk you take when using Hydro Pump. And I'm just going to go for a Drain Punch, which is neutral and heals me a little bit, but doesn't do a whole lot thanks to my Burn. Burn is one of the most annoying things in the game, seeing as it halves your attack and does continuous damage, and I freaking hate Burn. So now he just goes for Thunderbolt, I guess because that's a little of a safer move, and then I end up critting him with Drain Punch, which is really good for me. Not so good for him, and I feel kind of bad about it, but, you know, that really does help. So anyway, I guess he's afraid that he's not going to quite kill me with Thunderbolt, or he's afraid that I'm going to go for a Shadow Sneak to kill. But he goes into Hydreigon, and I'm not really sure why, because I thought the Drain Punch was fairly obvious, and that thing is dark, so it, you know, is weak to fighting, so I end up getting another nice hit, so I get another good chunk of damage, and I get my health back, so that's pretty awesome. Now, I know these things are probably special, and I know a Draco Meteor is likely coming, but this is supposed to be a special wall Gallade, so I'm just hoping I can live it, and I do, so that's freaking awesome, and I get off another Drain Punch for the kill, so that's a pretty nice kill. And even though that was the first Pokemon I took down, this Gallade, despite being burned, has become a major nuisance for him. But now, of course, I expect him to just revenge kill me with something. He's going to go down to Toxicroak, and I'm just going to go for a, I think I went for a Shadow Sneak just to get damage before I die, but he ends up having Sucker Punch, so yeah, that doesn't really matter. Because Sucker Punch is able to kill me, even after a bulk up, so that sucks. Oh well, that's life. So I'm just going to go into my Legend now, my Legendary Mew, because Mew is very legendary. And, yeah, so I think I just go for a Psychic, because I thought the Willows would be obvious, and he'd probably go out into, Chandelure, but apparently it's not so obvious, because he predicts my Psychic and goes into Jirachi, so that was a nice play for him. Anyway, so I am pretty scared now, so I'm just going to switch. I go out into my Inferno, thinking maybe he'll go for an Iron Head, and that I resist. Instead, he just goes for Wish, which isn't so bad either. Lets me lock myself into a move, but I don't really know what to lock myself into. I have to predict the switch correctly. I go for a Fire Blast, thinking he'd either stay in or go into Shaman, but he does not. He goes out into Chandelure, and that was the worst prediction I could make, because now he gets Flash Fire, which means, yeah, I think I raised his Fire-type attacks. Anyway, so I'm really scared. I go out into my Fatty, because even though I know he has Hidden Power Fighting, I know that I basically have a resistance. This is a thick, fat Snorlax, and I have the Crunch to hopefully scare him away. So I'm just hoping I can scare him away. He goes out and he actually goes Shadow Ball. He said that was a misclick, and that really sucks for him. because obviously Shadow Ball is not going to affect me as I'm normal. I just go for a Crunch to break the sub, and I'm just going to go for the Crunch again. No reason really to overpredict. Crunch should do damage to anything. He goes on to Toxicroak, which does resist, but I end up, I think, critting against for decent damage. So, no, I just curse. Oh, I lied. Oops, I lied. I curse. Yeah, I'm such a liar. Whatever. But yeah, I go for a curse. That raises my attack and defense and such. And, yeah, lowers my speed, but that's irrelevant since I already have really low speed. He's going to go for a sub, hoping that I'd switch, but I do not. I decided just to go for the Body Slam, because Body Slam is pretty powerful. I don't think Toxicroak has great defense, so I feel pretty confident no matter what he does. I don't think he can kill me because of my curse, and, yeah, Body Slam should just cripple that thing no matter what. So he goes out into Jirachi now, and I just go for another Body Slam, and I end up getting the Paralyze, which is awesome for me because this Jirachi is a lot less scary with the Paralyze because, you know, without the Paralyze, it probably outspeeds like half my team. With it, it's not scary at all. So I'm just going to go for a Curse again because, yeah, raising my defense is always a good thing, and same with attacks. So, yeah, he's going to go for a... No, I don't even know what he goes for. He gets Parahax. Lols. So I'm just going to go for a Fire Punch this turn because I do have Fire Punch. It's super effective. He hasn't seen it yet, so I'm kind of hoping he doesn't predict it. But he decides to switch anyway to Rotom, but it doesn't really matter because I kill that anyway. Which is really nice because Rotom probably could have burned me because that thing had Will-O-Wisp, so that was really nice that Fire Punch actually KO'd. But, anyway, so he goes out into Shaman now, and I don't really know why at first because I'm like, I already showed the Fire Punch, but then he goes Toxic, and that sucks. So I guess he just predicted I'm not immunity. And just goes for the Toxic. And that kind of sucks because Toxic on a, you know, tankish sweeper just is never good. But I'm hoping to finish it off now. I just go for a Body Slam just in case he feels like switching. He ends up going for the Leech Seed, and that's really, really, really bad now because now I know he can just go out into his Chandelure and just wall me, just, you know, with subbing, so I could take Toxic and Leech Seed damage. But instead he goes out into Jirachi, and looking back, this was a stupid play for me. There was no reason he goes into Jirachi here, except just to, like, bait the Fire Punch. But I felt like, fell right into his trap, you know, played right into his cards, went for the Fire Punch like a stupid noob, and he goes out into Chandelure to get the Flash Fire, and I'm thinking at this point, wow, I'm completely dumb. So now I obviously have to switch, first of all. And now he has Flash Fire Boost, so this Chandelure is really scary, so I'm going to switch, because I can't lose Snorlax. Snorlax is an out I have to, I think, like 2 or 3 of his team, so I really can't leave. Can't let it die. I just go out into Inferno because I kind of figure he's going to go for the sub, obviously, try to sub-stall my Snorlax or see what I switch into. And I know at the very worst I can outspeed with my Scarf Heatran and break the sub with Earth Power, so that's really the best thing I can do at this point. Let him kill my Heatran, but at least this thing doesn't have a sub anymore, so it's not safe. I can probably go into something and scare it away or kill it or, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. I decided to go back into my Snorlax, and I don't have the Leech Seed anymore since I switched. I still have the Toxic, but I know I can, at the very worst, wither that Chandelure down with Crunch. Here he goes out into Toxicroak, and this is what I think I remembered before. I think I crit him with this Crunch, and, yeah, I do. It doesn't really end up doing a whole lot anyway, so it's whatever. And I just kind of want to sit on this thing now, I think. I think I just go for a Body Slam, I think, just to get damage. No, I switch. Man, I cannot remember this battle. Oh, right, I have a Skarmory. Why would I? Yeah. Okay, I do have a Skarmory on this team, which is a pretty darn good physical wall. And I take that Drain Punch pretty nicely, and I'm going to go, I think I go for a Whirlwind here, predicting a switch into Chandelure, so I could Whirlwind him away, and he would take, you know, Stealth Rock damage, which would be pretty nice. He ends up going out into Jirachi, and I Whirlwind that away back into his Toxicroak, so that was kind of pointless. I mean, I guess I get Stealth Rock damage on Toxicroak and Jirachi, who both resist it. But, yeah, whatever. So here I'm kind of thinking he'll probably just day in, predicting another Whirlwind, so I decided just to go for a Spikes, because, you know, Spikes is kind of nice to get up, and, yeah, it'll help get some residual damage on the Toxicroak and Jirachi, not to mention hurt the, Chandelure even more when it comes out. So that's not so bad. I go for another Spikes here, thinking that he'd predict Whirlwind this turn as well, but instead he predicted my second layer of Spikes and goes out into Chandelure, so that was a nice prediction on his part, because obviously Chandelure is really scary to this Skarmory. And I really don't know what to do here. I decided just to stay in, hoping that he'd overpredict and go for a sub so I could Whirlwind, but he ends up playing it safe and go for the Flamethrower, so that was a great play for him because that's going to be able to take down my Skarmory. But Bad Bird really did what he could do. I mean, Bad Bird really can't do much to this Chandelure, but at least I set up 2 layers of Spikes, and that kind of makes his existence worth it. So I go back into my Fatty, and I do that basically because I know he can't... I know the maximum number of times he'd be able to set up a sub is like 3 at his level, so I tried to stay in and go for a crunch. He ends up just trying to kill me with Hidden Power Fighting, but he does not, but then I'd fail to kill with crunch. So that kind of is sucks for the both of us. Unfortunately for me, I am the one that is Toxic Poisoned and will probably die next turn. But he decided to finish me off with Hidden Power Fighting, so that's a pretty nice move, because obviously he can't set up a sub at that health, and he doesn't want to die himself, so that's, yeah, whatever. But now I feel pretty safe just revenge killing this thing. I'm kind of hoping my Mew's faster, but it is not because this is bulky Mew. But seeing that it's bulky Mew, I know I can take a Shadow Ball, even though this is more physically bulky. And I do, like a champ, like a Mew. Mew takes hits like a Mew, like I said. And I just finish off with Psychic, and that is not so bad. And, yeah, so what now? So that Chandelure thing is dead, which is, like, great for me, because that thing was causing me troubles all freaking match. And here comes a Toxic Croak, and, I was kind of expecting to Sucker Punch. He actually chose Drain Punch and Outspeed, which makes me really sad. But, thanks to my physical defense, in physical, bulky EVs, I'm able to take that Drain Punch and, get us off to Soft Boiled, which is awesome. And a lot of people said last time I used this Mew that Soft Boiled can't be learned by Mew. It can, freaking people. It's a 3rd gen move, tutor move. I think it was, I think it was Fire Red, Leaf Green, so... yeah, all you people who are ignorant saying that my Mew can't learn Soft Boiled. I mean, even if it couldn't, I mean, Roost is definitely learnable. There's like a million, I think it can learn Recover too. So it doesn't really matter. Just Soft Boiled is cooler because, I don't know, Soft Boiled is cooler. I mean, who wouldn't want to eat eggs? Come on now. Alright, so, anyway, I go out into my Breloom here. I'm not really sure why. I just go for a, yeah, that thing to break his sub. And, I really wanted to set up a sub of my own, maybe set up a Spore, but he is faster than me by the looks of it, I think. And that's really bad, and I don't want to stay in to take whatever he's going to do because he set up a Swords Dance, and I am very frightened. And here comes a Swords Dance again. I think that was his second Swords Dance. He ends up setting 3 Swords Dance up. But anyway, I think that was his second Swords Dance because I wasn't really paying attention to this, yeah... like I probably should be, this rematch thing. But anyway, he predicts my attack, but I do not because I am pro, and I just go for a Soft Boiled to get my health back to full, so I know at this point I can survive a +4 Sucker Punch. It is not stabbed by Toxic Croak, and even at +4, yeah, my Mew is a freaking Mew. Come on now. I go for a Psychic this turn to break the sub, and that's a pretty nice play for me because it gets rid of his sub. And now it's just pure prediction here. You know, is he going to go for the Sucker Punch or is he going to go for another sub? He ends up going for sub this turn, which I predict, thank God. And I go for a Psychic, and this turn I'm like, okay, he's probably going to try to Sucker Punch this turn, predicting another Psychic. I decided to switch it up on him. I decided to go for the Will-O-Wisp, and that is a great prediction, so I predicted him 2 times in a row, which means I do not take that Sucker Punch, and he gets a Will-O-Wisp on his face, and now this Toxic Croak is not frightening anymore. Even at +6 attack, I mean, he actually has more than attack still, than normal still, but definitely with a burn, it's... a lot less scary than it was. I just decided to kill it off, which is probably a bad play. I could have just stalled him with Burn, probably. But I just let me get a Sucker Punch off, and yeah, so my Mew is down to below half, but his last Pokemon is Jirachi, which I kind of figured this might be a stall fest, you know, since, I don't know. my last two Pokemon are Mew and Breloom, neither of which have a super effective move, but I figure, you know what, if this match is going to end anytime soon, Breloom is the one to do it. He tries to go for a Thunder Wave to paralyze my Mew. I guess he was not predicting my switch, but I know that eventually he should get the Para-Hacks, and that will be my opportunity to get up a sub. Obviously, I'm faster since he's paralyzed. He's just going to go for an Iron Head, maybe do damage or see what I do or something, but I am trying to set up sub. Once I get up a sub, I know I can just Focus Punch a bunch of times for the win, because I don't think he'll eventually he's bound to get a Para-Hacks, and there it is, he gets the Para-Hacks, and that means I can just go Focus Punch. I think he goes for the Wish next turn for some reason. He really needs to break my sub, otherwise I'm just getting free Focus Punches all over the place, but whatever, he just goes for a Wish, but I think this Focus Punch KOs, so that is a fun match. Lal Nyk, something like that, Lalnyk. It was a fun match. Hope you guys rate, comment, subscribe, and let me think of a question of the day for you today. Alright, guys, it's kind of nearing that time of the summer where people are starting to go on vacation, you know, in the month of August and July. So my question of the day is, where is your favorite place to go on a vacation? Now, I have two answers. One is Europe. I've always wanted to visit Europe, but I've never gotten around to it. I would love to visit Europe. I like the, I would love to visit, historic places in Britain, Germany, those exciting places. As for places I've been, I'm a beach person, honestly. I'd rather go down to the beach, for like a week than do anything else. It's relaxing. I like to be relaxed on my vacations, quite honestly. I don't like vacations that are hectic, must-see things, except for the exception of Europe, maybe, but that's because I want to see it. But, yeah, leave a comment about your favorite vacation, maybe also where you're planning to go this year. I mean, I don't really think I have a big vacation plan this year, but, I'm going to... went to the beach a few times with my girlfriend, and I visited a few amusement parks, so I've had a vacation days, weekends, long weekends, things like that, throughout the summer, but no, like, week-long plans. At least this summer. Been busy with my internship and such, and also I had a class this summer, but that's over now. I passed physics, finally. Alright, but anyway, rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and see you guys next time. Alright, peace out, homies.